This might be what you're missing is the mental part is not there. You might be emotionally connected to your person. You might physically have a libido, but mentally you're just kind of bored and not stimulated. There's no curiosity, there's no excitement.
Welcome to Garner
Welcome
Growth.
to Garner. Welcome to Garner Growth.
What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Garner Growth. Today we're going to talk about dirty talk mindfully. How to use dirty talk in your relationships to rev up that fire, to spice things up, and to also just make it fun and exciting. So if you feel awkward with saying like sexual stuff, like dirty talk, I know that I would giggle in the past saying anything like remotely, dirty talk wise. Even the word dirty talk sounds weird for me to say it. I feel like there's a better way of saying it. We're going to talk about communication that turns people on. So, did you know the most powerful sex organ is not your body, and definitely not your genitals? It's your brain. And even when it comes to your genitals, there are nerves that are wired around those organs in order to send signals to your brain that give you that turned on experience, that arousal experience. So without that connection to your brain, you can just be rubbing on stuff. If your nerves are not picking up the signal that, hey, this is a sensual thing, then it's not happening. And if you think about, if you've imagined something sexual, if you've watched porn, if you watch anything like a scene or you've seen somebody, you've seen your partner, you've seen yourself, and it turns you on. You're not touching yourself, right? You're not stimulating anything in your body. It's the visual, it's the mental stimulation. So there's already like so much proof that it's true. The most powerful sex organ is your mind. So why not use words? We should be using words in order to just incorporate that into your whole experience. And even like out of the bedroom or intended sexual situations, just using words to be a little titillating, be a little salacious sometimes with your partner, be suggestive, use innuendos. I do it on accident. I do it inappropriately sometimes, maybe even when I shouldn't. So I don't really need to practice it. Probably need to practice being more mindful of when I should do it less. But if you have the opposite problem, this is going to be an amazing episode for you. I'm going to give you some things to say and also just ways to bring it out of yourself naturally. So in this episode, 4 talking points that I have for you is how to share your desires without it feeling like pressure to the receiver. Number 2 is a simple 3-part framework in order to express your desires. Number 3, why pre-sex talk is your secret weapon. It can just make things so much better than going into it blind. And number 4, which I think is the most useful, because we all have things that we want, and depending on how you say it, whether it's sex related or not, it's going to be received differently. So how to express a desire without it being a demand. Really important to learn how to do that. And then there's also some like little things that I do that I'm going to share with you that makes asking for things a lot easier and a lot more fruitful. So the first part is expressing your desires without pressure. And the key to that is you do want to express what you want, but you don't want to have it come from a place of stimulating concern and guilt. Anything that's going to chop down versus build up your connection. So when the moment comes up and you want to express what you desire, just think of it as coming from a place of, this is good for my relationship. I'm building up our bond. I'm building up our connection. So how I'm going to say it is going to be a way that builds our bond, not breaks it down, not weakens it. So you don't want to be blaming. And you also want to just use curiosity versus demand. So I'm going to give you a really good example of how to do that. It's really easy to say, we never do this, we never do that. And you're using kind of this complaining type language. Nobody likes a complainer, right? And it comes down on closed ears. Instead, you go from a complaint to a curiosity. I've been thinking about trying this. I've been fantasizing about this. This is something that I personally like to use as far as the language. I have this fantasy of like you pinning me against the wall and really kissing me slowly. Versus, we never make out. You never kiss me. You treat me like some just examples, right? And you can even use humor, but oftentimes, like even with humor, you could still be complaining. So just by expressing like a fantasy, like I imagine like and describe what it is that you like or what you desire in this scenario, and then you end it with, "You want to try it?" or like, "You want to try it sometime?" or "Can we try that?" And it's just like a simple, a soft request. It is how you are expressing, conveying your desire that turns it into something they want to do instead of something that they feel attacked, right? When you feel attacked, you put up your guard. And now I'm not even listening. I don't give a shit what you want because now I feel attacked for no reason. So when you open it up first with like the description, because now I'm drawn in. We love stories as a people. We love stories. So describe what it is that you want. Describe what's going on in your head, like you're telling a story. Or if it's something you saw, if there's you saw this movie Baby Girl and you really liked how he told her what to do. He was very instructive and very clear with his instructions. You can describe that scene in that movie and be like, I wonder, like, I'm curious about that. Like, I want to try it. Do you think we can do something like that? And there's no complaints there. Actually, it sounds like an adventure. It sounds like something that your partner might want to do. Versus a complaint, you're not dominating, you're not dominant enough. Would you ever try that? Would you ever do this? That kind of like doubtful tone is already setting yourself up for a no. It sounds like you're already assuming the answer's going to be no. So be aware of that too. It might be a way that you communicate all the time about everything. This exercise is actually a way to really assess your communication as a whole, because our communication habits when we talk about sex is typically no different than when we talk about anything else that is intimate, uncomfortable, private, vulnerable. That's really what it is. Finally got to the word I was looking for. So anything vulnerable that you express, your communication usually will shift because now you're trying to protect yourself, either from judgment, rejection, whatever it is. And so if you can allow yourself in practice getting better at expressing sexual desires, you're going to see that in other areas of your life where you feel vulnerable talking about things. It's really like, mindfulness and personal growth, just kind of like some glitter on it. This is an exercise you can try. I already gave some examples, but coming from a place of curiosity and excitement, you've already like replayed this in your brain. You know exactly what you want. You're excited about it. It turns you on. So then automatically that energy is going to be expressed in the words that come out of you. Versus if you are thinking about it and you feel embarrassed and you are assuming it's going to be like rejected, when you express it, like, I was thinking about, like it comes off in a way that you're already painting the conversation in a negative way when it really is a positive thing. It could be exciting and it could expand your experiences. So think about it, get excited yourself about it. When you express it to your partner, paint the scene, describe what it is that you want or something that you've seen that you want to try and say, hey, imagine if we just like got some black lights and some glow in the dark body paint and like, cover the floor, put some music on, get some wine, whatever you want to do. And we paint each other's bodies. Or if one of you is like an artist, imagine if like we did this, set up the room and I was your canvas. And then we could do a photo shoot once you finish your painting. And then we'll have like a nice little like album of our date night, sexy paint night at home. That was a really good idea. I kind of just came up with that. Might have done it before, who knows? But that's a good one. Just a sprinkle of mindfulness on top of this. When you are talking, be aware of you tensing up in your body because you're getting vulnerable, right? It might be a little uncomfortable for you. So drop your shoulders when you're talking. If you can sit on your partner's lap, do that. Any kind of touch is good in order to keep things connected. And even if it does get awkward and you get kind of nervous, take a deep breath. So that's how you can apply mindfulness to this. Be aware, be mindful of how your body is responding to you being maybe apprehensive, nervous about this, embarrassed. And then also your response. Notice how if you're having assumed responses that are not desirable, you're already setting yourself up for, not a good time. Even if you do get a good positive answer, if in your mind you're set up for a negative one, then even when you receive it, it's not going to feel as full and as relaxing and expansive as it could. Okay. So it's not only that we want to get the desired answer where it's like, yeah, I want to try that. Of course we can do that. You also want to practice and establish having open connection while you're talking about vulnerable things and being comfortable asking for what you want, because you should ask for what you want. Everybody should. Nobody's a mind reader, When we don't ask for what we want, we don't express our desires, we are really putting our relationship and our partner at a disadvantage, because we are not reading minds like that, y'all. That's just not where we're at as a people yet. We're just like connecting, through the brain waves. I mean, our phones might be doing it, but we're not there yet. All right, so on to segment number 2. Segment number 2 is using a 3-part framework to ask for what you want. Next segment. Brother, you like that? You like that right there? Okay. All right. This next segment is a 3-part formula to expressing your desires. And then we're going to get into the dirty talk. I know you guys are waiting for that. I feel blank. I want blank because a little explanation, right? So I'll give you an example. I feel really connected when we touch slowly. I want us to try a slower build up tonight, more foreplay, because it gives me time to relax and get into my body. Another example, I feel really turned on when you say nasty stuff in my ear. I want you to tell me how nasty I am and call me your good girl tonight, because I know you've been trying to do something different, and this is what I would really like to try. So let's do it. An exercise you can do is each partner writes down 3 different things that they want using this formula. So I feel like this, meaning what do you feel like doing? Do you feel like trying something different? Do you feel like slowing down? Do you feel like spicing up? Do you feel like being more verbal? Do you feel like being more submissive? Do you feel like being more dominant? I feel like being more submissive tonight. I want you to tie me up because it takes away my control, and that really turns me on. Clear, right? I feel like being more dominant tonight. I want to try choking you, of course, within, limitations, with a safe word, um, because it makes me feel in control, and that really gets me. I'm trying not to like be too rated RX over here, so I'm probably already in the red zone. I have to really, figure out a nice balance, especially when we're talking about dirty talk. Like, I have to talk dirty to talk about dirty talk. The dilemma. And so when you do this exercise, you can do it like we said, the pre-sex talk where you're just chilling and kind of like using conversation as your foreplay. You can have a glass of wine, or if you're just having like a TV night, like a Netflix and chill type of night, you're cuddling, like put them in your phone. We're already on our phone anyways. It will be best to write this down, pen and paper, because it does establish a more heart-centered connection when you write things down, which is why you journal. But if you're going to be modern, like everybody's on their phones, then just sit there and do it on your phone. You're already on it anyways. So do 3 examples of things that you want to try and then swap, or share the notes, like put them in, text them to each other, right? You can share the note depending on the phone you got, or text them to each other. Either way, just share it, swapping information, and then read them. And then you can also continue that discussion, that foreplay discussion, or just chilling with giving commentary on those things you want to try, asking more questions, like detailed. Okay, so do you want to like kiss slowly, like for a long time? Or are you talking about just like in between times? Are you talking about like a lot of choking, or you just want to try it once? So just asking the questions that have piqued your curiosities. And then another tip of mindfulness, similar to the one we talked about before, is to be aware if this is uncomfortable for you, that you're relaxing. Continue to loosen up any tension that you're holding in your body, especially your shoulders and your face. We tend to tense up those areas more because we're overthinking, and our energy draws up and creates a more compressed vibration towards the top of our head. So drop your shoulders, Take a deep breath, sigh, touch, just a hand on each other, cuddling. That tends to relax the body automatically because you already feel accepted physically. That's what the body language is saying. So it allows everything else to kind of fall into place. If you're doing this like sitting across from each other like a business meeting, it could get awkward and it would be hard to get through it with the fun and curiosity that it could be if you're like treating it like a business meeting. So just be aware, be mindful of your body language. And if you really don't have any ideas of things to say, you can literally look them up. Things to say during sex, dirty talk, examples. So really there's no excuse. Either you have ideas already that you're just eager to share, or you're curious enough to research and get a list together, make a note in your phone of things that you would like to try. And you can even do the bulleted form where you have the circle dot and check them off as you do them. So then as you look at it, you're like, okay, I can I can clearly see I have not done this. I've done this. And then you can kind of like work from that list. And it keeps things exciting because you always have something new to try if that's what you're in the mood for. See, that's why I always gotta fill up that water bottle, Corey, because you're always over here drinking water. That's enough. Okay, part 3, we're gonna move on to the next talking point. The magic of pre-sex talks. Conversation can be your foreplay. I think we learned throughout this podcast episode that I cannot say the word literally. I just did it. What? It's really hard to say this thing in. Pre-sex talk. What are we going to do? We're going to use our mental stimulation, our mind, our imagination, and we're going to create arousal just with our thoughts and our words. And if you find that you have trouble getting aroused, staying aroused during sex, this might be what you're missing is the mental part is not there. You might be emotionally connected to your person. You might physically have a libido, but mentally you're just kind of bored and not stimulated. There's no curiosity, there's no excitement. And if you check all those boxes, then you might end up having like a more fuller, more heightened arousal experience. So what talking beforehand does is it creates anticipation because you can talk about all the things that you want to do before you guys even like touch. You're just laying there. I want to do this. I want to tie you up. I want to ice cream on your chest and lick it off. Just making up stuff, but whatever it is. And even coming up with ridiculous things that they don't really make sense, but why can't you do them? There's this video of some couples making like milkshakes and sundaes inside each other's mouths. Usually it's like the woman laying there and then making like the man is making a sundae in her mouth. It looks ridiculous, it looks dumb, but it looks fun as well. Things like that could be foreplay, right? And it looks like it has nothing to do with sex, but it's mentally stimulating. It's fun. It's silly. Silliness is vulnerability because it's saying, I accept you to be your most immature self. Like that is sexy to be that accepted, right? It builds anticipation. It reduces the pressure because now we're just having a conversation and there's no like jumping right into it without that like mental connection established. We're on the same page. And then it creates collaboration. When you talk about what you want to do, you have an agreement with your partner where they're like down and they're excited for what you want to do. And then they share what they want to do and you're down. That is collaboration. That is saying we are a team and we're working together as a team to have a fulfilling experience. Not I'm doing you because it's my duty or my job. You're doing me because that's what you're supposed to do. That's your role. That's, part of your duties, whatever it is. Or because you're horny. So I have to have sex with her to satisfy her. Or because he's horny, I have to have sex with him to satisfy him. Those things are very one-sided. So when you have a discussion and you have conversation and you're on the same page of being excited about things, being curious, being open, once you do start to get to it, it is now like we're all on the same page. We're all on the same team of having a fulfilling experience. Nobody is sacrificing themselves for the other's pleasure or just taking it. Like, it's not fun. And there's some really concrete ways that you can bring in this sense of team, when you're doing it. If somebody's doing something that doesn't feel good, like, I don't like that, don't do that. That's really clear, yes, but it's also a little jarring and like a little like putting them in defense mode, like stop. Instead, you can just offer to be more of a participant in your own pleasure. So it's like, can I guide your hand where it feels best for me? Even just doing it non-verbally. If something is like not being stroked the right way, not being touched the right way, put your hand on top and guide it. Be like this. I really like it when you do it like this, or like, oh yeah, that feels good. So it's finding ways to not be so stop. Sometimes you do need to do that, right? For sure. And use your judgment on that. If you do need to say stop, definitely do it. But I mean, if you guys are just exploring and it's kind of like a light thing, keep it light as much as you can. Keep it light. And the way that you do that is by working together, participating, offering to show the person instead of assuming that they should know and then getting mad at them when they don't. That's like a thing that we do as people. And I know women do it a lot too. Actually, can't you say women? Everybody does it because a guy can be, getting his thing, fellatio, I'm going to use proper words now, and it's not really feeling that good. And he's not giving her any guidance on how to make it feel better. Instead, he just lets her finish or, do it for a little bit and then complains about it later on and then starts to not even ask for it anymore because she don't do it that good. So that's on you, sir. She is not a mind reader. She doesn't even have one. So I have some pre-talk prompts for you. So just some ideas to get your mind going. What are you in the mood for tonight? Are you in a playful mood? Are you in a lazy mood? Which lazy is not bad. Like if you just want to like lay to the side and do some quick strokes, like sometimes there's all you need. Are you in a romantic mood? Are you in an adventurous mood? BDSM type mood? Tell me, what is the mood for tonight? So that way you can kind of theme it and kind of like set up the energy. So you're actually setting the energy for the night, having a mood to go off of, and that already gives you like a path to go on, which should make it exciting. Another one is theme. You can have a food theme. So tonight we're doing whipped cream berries, whatever's in the pantry. Okay, it could be a pantry night. Are you in a bondage night? So, put out the ropes, the clamps, the paddles, whatever kind of floggers, whatever things you have, laying that out, making it that type of night, like a dungeon night. Are you in a dirty talk night? The main source of stimulation is words. And maybe you can't even like touch each other for like 30 minutes or an hour or something. And you just have to turn each other on with words. You can whisper in each other's ear, but your hands have to be behind your back. So these are just ways for you to get conversation around actual sex. Talk about what you're about to do. Theme it like you're planning an event. It is an event, it's an experience. And it's just like, it's fun. I'm excited for you. So which of these things are going to try? If you have another idea that I haven't mentioned, then drop it in the comments because we would love to hear some more wonderful, exciting ideas. And then just, contribute to everybody having a good time and expanding our ideas. So if you have another great theme or another prompt for pre-sex conversation, put that in comments. I would love to see it. And I'm actually even make an episode where I just read those off and give people, just a whole video of ideas. Another exercise is before you have sex, each partner shares a green light and a yellow light. A green light is something that you want to do. You're like, yes, let's go for it. A yellow light is something that you're not sure about. So this opens up exploration. And it's also more vulnerable. You might be more proud of your green lights. It depends on what it is. And your thing you're not sure about, it might be a yellow light where you're like, not sure if I like choking, but I want to try it. And if it's something that you're new to, then you might need to have like a really clear safe word, a really clear physical tap, tap out, whatever it is. And then also being aware that you have to start from a lighter touch to a firmer touch. With anything, whether it's choking, whether it's spanking, anything that's impact touch that ends in like a more firm or impactful sensation, always start light and work your way up. Because if you start too heavy, then it can put the person in fight or flight mode or defense mode, and it just stings, it just hurts. Whereas if you build it up, you get a chance to come decide, like, yeah, I want more. It also elongates the experience, right? Because the build up lengthens the experience and builds the arousal. So think about that. You can even do it kissing. Kissing from pecking, lip massaging together, then slowly engage tongue, slowly start making out, and then get into full mouth things. I think I'm just gonna stop giving you guys all my gems. I'm just kidding. That's what I'm here for. I give it all to you. And the mindfulness tip for this part is to slow down, start soft. I already said that, but I'm just gonna reiterate it. Slow down, go into a slow start, and then rev your way up. Okay, might be a cold start engine for you. You might need to let it warm up. All right, you want to just like start the engine and take off. You gotta let it sit and let it rumble a little bit. Obviously, I like to go to car shows, and I miss it. I'm very much due. I'm over here talking to you guys about Dirty Talk, and in my head, there's Challengers and Chargers. There's Mustangs. So our last talking point, number 4, is turning your complaints into turn-ons. Did you know you could do that? Because I could be like, I don't really like it when you, that's a complaint, or you don't really do it that often. And that's a complaint. Now a turn-on would be, I've been really thinking about how handsome your face looks between my thighs. Trying to center my words. Trying to be a good Christian. So doing it like that, right? Like that is exciting to me. I love the way your face looks when it's full of my. I love seeing your face between my. Okay, you look so handsome when your face is. Okay, you get the gist. Those are compliments, and they basically say, "Yo, I want to do this. I like it when you do this. Visually, it looks good to me. It feels good." Or I get so when you whisper in my ear and say like dirty things. I get so when you tell me I'm a good girl. I think that our theme has been very much BDSM tonight, not on purpose. But it's also like the most common topic of alternative, which, it could say non-vanilla sex. So it just makes sense. There's a lot of content out there about it. You never kiss me during sex. You never suck my toes. Does that make you want to do it? No. If your kid tells you, you never cook us home cooked meals, we're always eating out, you might jump into the kitchen and cook them something. But for the most part, you're just like, you're going to come with an excuse because I'm tired after work. I do this and do that because now they're complaining. So you have to outline all the things you do for them because they're complaining, right? Same thing with a sexual request where it's like, you never kiss me during sex. Meanwhile, Buddy over here is sweating his soul out with all these thrusts and really actually concerned about you having an orgasm. It feels good when you do get turned on, but he doesn't also know that you would like it if he would kiss you more. That would turn you on and make it even easier for you to reach your climax. So it's all about communication, not assuming that they know anything. Like, always assume ignorance when you are with a person. And even ignorance, like you'll get to know your partner's body and the things they like, but it's not going to be like that every single time, every single day. It's going to change based on their mood, based on their hormones, based off of their stress level, the environment, mental stimulation, right? Things that you say to them. So write down 3 of your most common complaints, like your top 3 complaints. Then turn those complaints into a turn on. So what you actually want, the thing that you want instead of this thing you're complaining about, put it into a visual, describe it to them, and describe what you like about it. Like I said, I really love the way that your face looks between my thighs. That is very visually stimulating, and it tells your partner that you want more. You want your cat to be, okay? Will they catch that one? So will that be flagged? Oh my gosh. One thing about me switching to meditation and mindfulness was I never had to worry about like censoring and like saying things that'll get me like flagged. And when I talk about like sexual education topics, which, I'm also an expert on, I always have to be aware of what I'm saying and filter myself. And so I have like this fine line of being really comfortable talking about it because I am. And I think everybody, should be getting to that point of talking about something very natural. It's like, being shy about talking about how you were born. That was the first step in how you're born. I'm really comfortable talking about it. And so I have to also be very like aware of saying it in a way that is not flaggable. So you've turned your 3 complaints into 3 turn-ons with a request. Can we try that next time? Would you be interested in trying that? How do you feel about that? Do you like that, or would you like it to tweak it a little bit? What can we add to it to make it even better, or make it something that you would like even more, that it will be mutually beneficial? Those are all team working words, all welcoming, non-defensive, non-offensive words and conversations. And it just keeps your connection open and keeps things curious and exciting. And the mindfulness tip for this part is you will have the urge to complain. And when you do that, that's when you want to check yourself, because you know it's not going to be received, because you don't receive complaints that well. So check yourself and take a breath, a pause, rethink about what you actually want, because a complaint is not what you want. It's just a way of you trying to get what you want. And it's also not very conducive. So a more productive way of getting what you want is turning that complaint into a request, and also something that could mentally stimulate your partner and yourself as you describe it. All right. All right. So just a little recap about what we talked about in this episode. And I didn't focus the whole thing on dirty talk, because what would I look like sitting here just rambling off a bunch of things to say? But what I did was I sprinkled it in between the different segments. So I hope you guys picked up on some of those jewels, those gems. And then also, because we're all in this together, you're going to put your favorite lines in the comments of whatever I said or what you would say. So give me some of your best dirty talk lines in the comments. I really don't know what I'm asking for right now, like if I'm going to regret this. But show me what you got. All right. Be creative. And like, just don't get raunchy though, because then I probably will just have to take this whole thing down. This whole episode was to encourage you to use your conversation, to use your words to mentally stimulate your relationship, to contribute to the arousal and the fire in your relationship. And overall, as a person, being able to be more vulnerable with your words and talk about something like sex, which is vulnerable, it's going to allow you to be more outspoken about other areas of your life that you're vulnerable about. Whether it's insecurities, trauma, just uncomfortable relationships or situations and relationships. But it just allows you to develop and grow as a person to somebody that communicates better. You can have those hard conversations. You can advocate for yourself at work, because now you're used to having awkward conversations or being vulnerable. And that's going to allow you to be more successful in life and feel more confident, because you advocate for yourself. You don't just hold it in and, cower in the face of discomfort. So we want to integrate and practice the things that you learned in this video. Practice disclosing playfully what you want without pressure, and being descriptive with your words about the things that you want, kind of like telling a story. Use examples of the media, things that you've seen. If it's easy, share a video of something on Instagram or any social media that is an example of what you want to do, and then use that to open up a discussion. Don't just like share and say nothing. Like, what do you think about this? Can we try this? I want to do this. Use the 3-part I feel, I want, because. I feel sets the tone for this is coming from a place of desire that will make me feel better and feel closer. I want, what is it? Flame, what do you want to do? Lay it out. Because, an example of why you want it. It could be an explanation of how it makes you feel. the emotion that it brings out of you, like it's exciting, or you just been curious. It could be because you want to feel like more connected to your partner, or it does something to you specifically, and that's your because. And that's really good information. If I know that there's something I can say that will, turn the faucet on, let me know. It's a win-win for everybody. The next point is have three sex talks. So use your conversation, use certain prompts, and have specific discussions that bring mental stimulation, open up your curiosity, plan your event, plan your experience. Like, okay, let's try this, this, and this. Let's lay out the tools that we might need to have this experience, get our supplies ready. We'll check the floor, the bed, whatever it is, prepare the room. Even just preparing a space for an experience is also bonding. I don't know if you guys have ever thrown a party, but getting ready for the party is part of the connection. Usually those are like your closer people, your inner circle is the ones who help set up, right? We decorate, we do the balloons, all that. Part of that is bonding. The people who help you clean up after the party, those are your closest people typically. And I know that for me, even for people that I don't know or might not be super close to, I'll do my little parts of contributing, cleaning up, or bringing something. And that is showing them that, yeah, I'm trying to be a part of this, or I'm contributing to this thing that you've invited me into, the space that you've invited me into. And so it is a way to connect with people. So many tangents, but they're useful. So your challenge is to try one of these tonight. You don't even have to do the thing. Like, you don't have to do the main event. Just have the conversation. Research. Get your list together. That's something you can just do on your own. Nobody has to know about that. Get your list together, either a list of things that you want to try, and a list of things that you want to hear and say, especially when it comes to dirty talk, because you might not be well versed in it. You might have to actually like research and figure out what to say. And then you'll find out what really works for you and what doesn't work. And those are just like both important. And you might laugh. That's part of it. You definitely will laugh, especially when you start. And that's fine. But once you get past that laughter is a way of kind of it reduces the vulnerability. And as you work past that laughter, it kind of helps you to kind of shake off the nervousness. If you can now get past that laughter and really own the sensuality, own the sexuality, the energy that you're actually trying to get to, because you're not at a comedy show, you're trying to have sex, you're trying to get aroused. You're not stand up. So the laughing is just you being nervous and you guys are working through the awkward parts. But when you really own it and you sink into it, you say those things with confidence. And it's like you are using those words instead of like daggers, which, hard words can be like daggers. These words are like feather ticklers. They're like soft strokes of your hand. They're like firm grabs. They're like soft whispers in your ears that tickle the hairs inside your ear. That's what words do when you use them correctly. So good luck. Don't forget to put in the comments, share something you got. I know you got something to add to this. You got some sauce. And if you don't and you have some questions, also put those in the comments. And I can use that to make shorts and elaborate on things and share them also like on my Instagram and TikTok. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Garner Grow. Remember to like this, subscribe, comment, and share it. Let me know what you thought about this episode. If you want more stuff like this, if you want something different, if you want more depth, let me know. You help me to not have to research as hard, and you're a lot better than ChatGPT because you're actually like my actual audience. So I want to know what you think and what you want to hear. Also follow me on Instagram. It's Green Body. The E's in the green are threes. I had to do it. The other one wasn't available. Green Body, threes for ease. I will see you guys on the next episode. Until then, talk dirty and leave with love.
Welcome to Garner
Welcome
Growth.
to Garner Growth.